allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Councilwoman Biancardi.
Here.
Councilwoman Bozell. Here. Councilman Loving.
Here.
Councilwoman Carr. Here. Councilwoman Scott. Approval of the April 13th, 2022.
So moved.
Here.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm here. Meeting minutes.
so moved.
Second.
Discussion. Sorry. Roll call. Councilwoman Biancardi.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bozell. Yes. Councilman Loving.
Yes.
Councilwoman Carr. Yes. Councilwoman Scott.
Yes. Approval of the April 20th, 2022 executive session meeting minutes. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Jennifer Rafferty.
Yes.
Roll call. Councilwoman Bozak.
Yes.
Councilman Loving.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCarr.
Yes.
Councilwoman Biancardi.
Yes.
Councilwoman Scott.
Yes. Jane. I don't have anything. Nick.
Nope.
Tony.
I am going to be out of the country for the next council meeting.
You're Zoom so that I can take my birthday off.
No, I'm gonna be in Germany. I don't want to Zoom at midnight. Actually, it would be 2 in the morning.
So that I can stop you. I like that you researched it already.
Well, my son's been living there since August, so I know. I accidentally called him at 2 in the morning and he's like, why are you calling me? So I'll be gone that week.
Roseanne? Nothing. Jennifer? No. Clay?
I see on here about the town road inventory. I still need to get with the town engineer to hopefully finalize that. I know some of the roads were with, is owned by the redevelopment entity that is owned by Cleveland Cliffs, and the possibility of some of those parcels being deeded to the town where the park is located. And I also would request that the minutes reflect that I wish my wife a happy 20th wedding anniversary. Am I spending the evening with the Burns Harbor Town Council?
Aww. Well, I would have brought you a cake, because I have cake on my 40th birthday next month when I'm here. So everyone hear me. What's your favorite cake?
Very little cake, lots of frost.
I need this right down. Is a Martin here?
I don't see him on the Zoom.
Okay, Jack?
Meetings in my report.
I do have a question about that. Has Tech Drive Association paid their fine or Central Planning yet?
Their payment is due tomorrow. Tomorrow's the end of their timeline, but I have not received payment yet, no.
And any update on their plan?
No, they have not given me any new update. They did contact someone. There was an email going through a few people. They wanted to request to come to the town council meeting next month. But I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Okay, has Mr. Anaya gotten permits yet for the deck and stairs?
Yes, I just got a report from the engineer, went back out there. He's completed the exterior reconstruction of the foundation. He's actually sealing it today and putting insulation on it. He'll be back for his first permits for the rest of the home within the next couple days.
Okay, have you gotten a hold of 364 Shady Side yet?
I'm sorry, I can't.
364 Shady Side, have you made contact with them yet? He's gonna work.
Oh, yes, he finally came in and paid his payment, and I actually got the card back, and it was another card that we received back from when we sent him certified mail. It was another card that came back without any signature on it. So that's the fourth one that we've received in the last 2 months that people are receiving the certified mails, and he did come in and pay the ticket. But We did not, when we received the card back, there's no signature on the card.
Has anyone made contact with the postmaster yet to discuss that with them? Because we do have new carriers in Burns Harbor.
I have not,
Lori needs to contact them because I would assume for like legal purposes, we would need to know who's signing for it and when they get it. So can you have Lori contact them, please,
I will,
to let her know, let them know that there's, 4 that have been come back down.
Yep.
South Babcock, the Crest property.
Crest property, actually, he came in for a permit, he has cleaned up his front yard. He's putting a fence up, he's moving actually he came in with a permit for his building that has a collapsed roof. And is working on that, so the permit has been given to him, and he has removed all the wood in the front, and he's in the process of grading it, cleaning up, so he is moving on it finally.
Okay, and then the barn of 1141, you said no progress has been made on that yet?
That ticket went out today,
What progress were you looking for?
pardon me.
What progress were you looking for? Because you said no progress has been made there.
There's nothing,
There's-
there's holes in the building with wood, and then wood's falling off the walls. There is stacks of wood around the entire property, and none of it's been moved, and there's
He
3.
has actually moved quite a bit out of that property so far. There's been a ton that has been moved out of that property.
Well, I have pictures that show different.
The entire east side has been cleared out. Most of the north side on the north part of the actual barn has been cleared out.
I just took pictures the other day, there's still quite a bit.
There's still stuff out there, but to say that no progress has been made is incorrect.
Okay, well, the biggest thing is that the building itself, there are holes in the sides of the building that have not been filled. So the citation went out today,
Okay, do you have a copy of the letter you can send me, please?
yes.
Have Laura send me a copy of the letter, please, because I just want to see what it says. Okay. Rob,
Yes, ma'am.
start with, go ahead.
No.
I have a couple questions for you, real fast. What is town business on your report? We all are wondering what constitutes town business.
Phone calls, emails, any type of administrative duties that I've been doing.
And what's garage maintenance? Like, is that just cleaning the garage up, like fixing it, what,
No, that's just cleaning it. Garage maintenance would be working on repairs to the building.
and how often are they cleaning up the roads?
Every time they mow.
Have we got to all the roads yet?
I don't believe I don't believe Salt Creek has been done. And I don't believe West Old Border has been done. The west side of Old Border. Towards your house,
Towards Salt Creek.
towards Salt Creek,
Mowing or cleanup?
mowing.
Oh, like the west part, okay, I can understand now. That's right, Gary. Or Mike,
Yeah, Connor,
you're up.
you guys have your report, if you have any questions. Other than that, I just limited time to prepare myself.
As,
Are you guys riding the bikes yet?
No, that'll start here shortly. Now that Wayne's on the road, so I mean, potentially we have 5 guys now, we have the ability to be able to actually have guys on those shifts, so.
Okay.
When we do have the overlapping shifts, that'll allow us to be able to get out on those bikes. Because we still have somebody in a patrol car.
Right, gotcha.
So,
he has started full time,
what's that, Wayne?
Wayne.
Yes,
and your officer stuff with the needle was fine after exposure protocols? We're good?
I mean, we're making assumptions at this point, I mean, it's gonna be.
You have to
full
keep
tests
tests.
throughout
Yeah, I
the
just
period of
haven't seen
time.
like any kind of follow-up, that's what I was wondering.
As of right now, everything's fine, but, I mean, kind of holding our breath on.
Bill?
Fire department's been busy, the reports in the box, really been trying to do a lot of updating and stuff, and then, just had some purchase orders in for some equipment, the usual, multi-gear purchase. On the our pump side, other than that, that's all we have right now.
Vacation?
We took delivery of the new pumps. We've been pretty busy actually with the cleaning and the maintenance. We had our first cleaning operation where we coincided with actually disposal inside the mill. Everything went pretty smooth there. I'll report that at sanitary board meeting as well, but had a good event there and everything worked out as planned. So.
And that's important because previously Eagle would come and clean out the lift stations, and we have 6. And we had to find a place to take it, and no one would take it anymore. So Bill worked with Cleveland Cliffs for months, and they were great to work with us, working out a plan so that we could actually, what we sucked out, we could dump in the plant. Because of our permits, it's a little bit tricky, but we could have been in a situation where we wouldn't have been able to keep up the maintenance that we've been doing on our lift stations because there's nowhere to put it. So Bill spent a lot of time working on that, and Larry Favino was a huge help at Cleveland Cliffs to, work that whole process out. So now that it's in place and we've been through it, it shouldn't be a problem. We'll just be paying Eagle to pump it out, right? And then drive over and dump it.
Yep, and then our normal solid disposal that we do anyway through the plant as sludge removal, so.
But so many other like systems, like, where were you going, South Haven
We
or?
would go where it would take. it.
Yeah, wherever, but
Something.
most people are like closing their doors to anybody outside of their system, so.
Because of the more stringent permits,
Mhm.
where this is ours anyway, so, but it took a lot, like she said, it took a lot of work. We had to build a system, we had to build a ramp and stuff and design one. To de-water it, so there's a whole lot into it. I made it sound like it was an easy task, but it went on, like Tony said, for months, and but it went off without a hitch. It worked as
Well, and in the process, we, both sides got to see the plants, and Cleveland Cliffs have done some huge improvements to the plant out there, so much so that IDEM even commented on how much they've done. And then Cleveland Cliffs and IDEM both are just very impressed with our system. So it's a good thing to have that partnership now, so we can keep that system, clean and running properly.
So that's pretty much it on that side.
Okay.
The park officially opens on May 28th. The park is in desperate need of lifeguards. If you know anybody, please send them Kim's way. We only have 1 lifeguard hired, so we're going to have very, very limited swimming at the park. Footloose is June 25th, which is always fun. And the first week of day camp is the week of June 11th, which maybe it'd be cool to take the bikes over there while the kids are at the park. I'll let you know those dates. Sure got this.
Okay, correspondence.
Did you want me to say anything?
Oh, sorry, RDC, nothing.
It's okay, you're welcome to. We approved Evan Marsh for phase 2 engineering services for the Market Greenway Trail. And we are working to put dog waste signs up on the trail from Town Hall to the Portage line. Rob, can we look in the book to see if there are any signs for dog waste?
Yeah, there is.
They got back to your dog. Can you?
And the park has some too, if we, Kim can probably show.
Yeah, we talked about.
Oh, okay.
We talked about it. If you could, can you take a picture of that page and send it to me?
Sure.
With the price. Thank you.
Nick, did you guys talk about, I know the construction's happening on Portage's side. Are they still planning to be connected in July?
I don't know if I know that it is rough cut now, so you can, if you've been back there, you can actually
You can tell it's a trail.
But can you see that connection from the end of ours? Cause isn't there a piece that we still, we have to finish, right?
We went past our line.
Okay, for some reason I felt like there was still a
We went
small
past
piece.
the line just to make sure there was no issue with,
Okay,
who finishes that last.
Okay,
It's- Yeah,
okay.
no, we're, on our side, we're good.
cool.
Okay, correspondence item, notification Burns Harbor meets the criteria and requirements of the municipal storm sewer system. presentation of resolutions, petitions, communications, ordinance, and remonstrance, resolution 2022-08.
Twenty-two 08, a resolution of the Town of Burns Harbor Town Council amending resolution 2021-20, a plan for distribution of the proceeds of the town's grant from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021.
Motion to adopt.
Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilman Loving,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCart. Yes. Councilwoman McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bozak,
Yes.
Councilwoman Scott.
Yes.
And then just as a matter of process, so this now includes bonus pay in that ARP money, but we still would need to have a salary ordinance. And then when that money arrives, we would need to do an additional appropriation so that we could then pay it out.
Point of order, Clay, do we need to have Jennifer amend her vote?
Yeah, to abstain, if it's premium pay, and that includes.
It's not premium pay.
It's,
It's to use the money that we received as lost revenue that can be used for any lawful purpose that the town can spend money on.
I'm just looking at the agenda and it says for premium pay.
Sorry, it's a typo.
Okay,
So that they could do that, I apologize.
Okay, resolution 2022-09.
Town of Burns Harbor appropriations transfer, be it hereby resolved by the Town Council of the Town of Burns Harbor, Porter County, Indiana, that the following transfer of funds be made within the Marshall Department's 2022 budget. $600 from longevity, 2-122 into travel expenses, 2-131. $6,750 from uniforms, 2-244 into uniform allowance, 2-129.
motion to approve.
Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilwoman McCart, abstain. Councilwoman Biancardi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bozak,
Yes.
Councilwoman Loving,
Yes.
Councilwoman Scott.
Yes. Resolution 2022-10.
2022-10, Town of Burns Harbor appropriations transfer. Be it hereby resolved by the Town Council of the Town of Burns Harbor, Porter County, Indiana, that the following transfer of funds be made within the Building Department's 2022 budget.
Motion to approve.
So,
We should be separate.
I gotta read it.
Oh.
1,200 from Building Commissioner salary, 5-111 into telephone, 5-323. $2,500 from Building Commissioner salary, 5-111. Doesn't say where it's going into.
There are several that are going into one.
Oh, they're all flowing into miscellaneous services. 1,000 from inspector wages, 5-112, and $500 from repair parts, 5-236 into miscellaneous services, 5-392. And $560 from tires and tubes, 5-223 into insurance, 5-342.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Councilwoman Biancardi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bozak,
Yes.
Councilman Loving,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCart,
Yes.
Councilwoman Scott.
Yes. And then new business. This is Kim Burton's 24th year as a park director. So congratulations to her. She does a great job down there. Memorial Day program at Hawthorne Park, we had an invitation to participate via email, unfortunately 5.
I generally go. I'm happy to go again and represent the town, but anyone else is welcome to.
Will you be in town still?
Yes. Yeah. If you would like to go, generally a representative from each town participates in some way. In the past, I've read a poem. Nick, what did you do? You read,
I read before and I walked the wreath before.
yeah. Yeah, so
It's a
there,
really nice event.
Jane orders a really nice wreath and we put that out and it's nice to be a part of. So I'm happy to let someone else go, but I'm available as well. So.
I will not be in town either.
if I'm available, I can go with you, but I can't commit to doing it myself, because my life is crazy.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, if someone has kids that would want to go with as well and participate, that's cool, however.
Okay.
If we had some of the kids that go, they could take the wreath for us and, put it by the
He
memorial.
walked with me
Yeah,
2 years ago.
So-
when I did the wreaths.
it's a really nice program. It's fun. It's a good program.
Thank you for representing this one.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Title VI complaint resolution.
So I am the Title VI coordinator, and we did receive a complaint in February of this year that I investigated. And so for you guys tonight is my proposal as a resolution that we would need to adopt in response to that complaint. It was filed against the building department. And my findings were that our current process of applying for a building permit as a town resident has the potential for misunderstandings and miscommunication, which may result in a delay in the projects for homeowners. And the resolution to ensure the effective operation of the building department and to enhance its reputation in the community, a process that is transparent, clear, and concise will be implemented for residents applying for a building permit. This includes a revised permit application that clearly communicates all fees and inspections and provides added support for completing the application. So there were some things that, if you're a builder, makes sense. If you're a homeowner who might just have a project here or there, it wasn't necessarily clear. So we beefed up, for lack of a better way of saying it, the application to make sure that everything was very clear. When the homeowner walks out with their permit, they know exactly what they're doing, what's expected of them. That's already in place. Corinne did make the application and it's fillable, it's online, the building department's using it. And I think that is going to alleviate any other concerns that we might have. So as part of the Title VI complaint process, this resolution comes to the town council, and I might not say it right, Clay, but we need to adopt the findings and resolution.
Yeah, and as I stated, it's not a resolution in the
Sorry,
form of changes
right.
to town code, it's just simply adopting the findings and I guess recommendations of the Title VI.
Coordinator, yeah.
I'll make a motion to adopt Tony's findings.
Second. Discussion.
I just want to say that, I think it was a good process of going through and paying attention to some details again. Even myself, if I were to ask for a permit, I'm not very clear, but it is an ongoing process. There's already brought up some things like, let's look at more specialized permits. How can we make the process better? So this was a good, reflection on that process. And so I think even better things are going to come from it for our residents and people who do business with us.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Biancardi?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bozak?
Yes.
Councilman Loving?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCart?
Yes.
Councilwoman Scott?
Yes. Ambulance billing hardship application.
Somebody submitted a hardship application. I wrote some notes there for the council. They have a balance of $673.57. The service was provided in December of 21. They did not show proof of income, but the form that they complete, part of the form they complete indicates that they do not meet the poverty line guidelines that I'm to use to determine whether they do qualify for hardship. Her request was that the town write off $500 of the $673.57 she still owes, and then she would make $30 a month payments until the balance is paid. Again, she didn't show hardship, or I'm sorry, proof of hardship, but she also indicated she really doesn't qualify for hardship. So, but that's not my decision to make, it's the council's, and so I brought it before you.
Motion to deny.
Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilwoman Bozak,
Yes.
Councilwoman Loving,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCart,
Yes.
Councilwoman Biancardi.
Yes.
And Councilwoman Scott.
Yes. Parking proximity to stop signs.
Still pulling in information from neighboring towns, so I'll have something for you next month.
Thank you. Flood hazard area.
This is an email, well, this is in reference to an email that Rob had forwarded to me. I believe he received it because he was still designated the flood person.
Yep.
Which is, as was clarified to me in our town code, it's the building commissioner. We have an ordinance from 2015, and they are asking for that to be updated with a draft ordinance to the appropriate person by June 13th. So I did provide the 2015 and their proposed ordinance and asked that Rob and Jack work together to compare those and put together the proposed ordinance. So I would anticipate prior to the next meeting that draft is ready so that we could look at it and it could be sent to the appropriate, Ashley, I think is her name, it's for FEMA.
So that'll be ready by June 8th for the June 8th meeting. Is that right?
Yeah, if I get some help with it, yes.
What do you need help with?
Well, I knew nothing about this until I had received the email from Rob about it, so I didn't even know what this entailed. But I've got the paperwork and I will work on it. I was gonna go to a class next week about it to understand this process and what needs to be understood about it, but I was told that just if there's no need for me to go to that, and I will go with Rob and figure out what needs to be addressed on this
Basic
document.
draft of it.
Yes.
So we should update the 15 ordinance.
We need to, right,
That's what I'm saying.
So if I could speak, basically when I did it, when I was doing it, basically all I gotta do is see if we've adopted any new floodplain areas. And that map is available on the state website. And then if that doesn't change, then you just update the ordinance. If we have a new floodplain, then it has to include that part, and a new map has to be part of that ordinance. But I don't believe we have any new designated floodplain areas. So then you just gotta update the ordinance to current. And then it has to be adopted, stamped, and then sent to both the county and the floodplain manager for, I believe it's IDEM, was it?
FEMA.
Yeah. If that helps.
At this point, my understanding from reading the email from Ashley is that is taking their proposed new language and incorporating it into our current ordinance. Her proposed language is in green in the email, and
Is there a rush or reason for such a quick turnaround?
that's the date they asked for it.
But if,
Oh, but it's a draft.
but if we don't meet that, what I'm getting at is.
Oh, I see.
Pass it on June 8th, what's,
Well, I don't think we as a council need to do anything on June 8th. I'm just saying as a deadline for staff, because the draft ordinance needs to be to Ashley by the 13th. But if I pulled up the email, there is like a consequence if it's not eventually adopted.
no, I understand that, because I think I became a town attorney in 2015. I mean, one of the first few things that I did was that. I'm sure on a computer somewhere I have that 2015.
Yeah, and I have it and I sent it in a form to them
I'm
as
just
well.
wondering if we don't have something done or to them by June 8th, June 13th, what's the penalty?
There is something, I'm looking for the email.
Just lose your ability to apply for.
Yes, it's through FEMA. So I think Bill's right. You would lose your ability for any support from FEMA if something were to happen.
Yeah, because remember we collected on the flood that time of the 6-year rains, you lose your ability to be able to collect on any reimbursement from that.
My understanding, I don't mean to interrupt, but when I read the emails, it has to be passed by the town council once it's rewritten, and it also has to be notarized. And then sent to FEMA for approval.
Yeah, but the first thing is a draft to June
Yes.
13th. So yes, as Bill mentioned, there are further steps, but the first checkpoint is that draft to her name's not Ashley, but
So it was,
yes, thank you. So. That's all I got on that.
Did someone get the actual letter? Did anyone get an actual hard copy letter in there?
Of what?
Of the letter, like, of this
I got an email.
situation?
I didn't get in any physical mail, it was an email.
So you got it, when did you get it? May 4th?
I don't remember, I forwarded it to Tony,
Was it that day you got it forwarded to her?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not like, I'm just trying to figure out how much time they actually give you to do this. If she wants a draft copy by June 13th.
I mean, they give you the language. I'm just saying.
Okay. April 2022 financial report
Motion to approve.
discussion.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear a second.
Oh, I thought it was Jennifer.
No, I didn't see it.
Oh,
I thought it was Jennifer too, I heard it, yeah, second.
That was free to play, sorry.
Seeking legal advice.
Discussion, roll call.
Councilman Loving,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCart,
Yes.
Councilwoman Biancardi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bozak,
Yes.
Councilwoman Scott.
Yes. Pay vouchers with your signatures.
So moved.
Second, discussion, roll call.
Councilwoman McCart,
Abstain.
Councilwoman Biancardi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bozak,
Yes.
Councilman Loving,
Yes.
Councilwoman Scott.
Yes. Approval of purchase orders submitted with 3 or more signatures.
Did you bring those in here? Oh. Well, no, I mean, one was small. I didn't know what it was. That's okay.
You can grab it real fast. You're real close.
Did somebody second that? I heard Nick say first.
Nobody seconded.
Okay.
That's what I played for. I'm just like-
Second.
Exam seconds.
Now we can discuss.
Discussion.
So- Who's doing the mold remediation? Because the note Jane says we already have a PO for someone and this is something new in a different dollar amount. This,
I submitted,
so this one is for Service Master.
Yeah.
In the amount of $4,832. But the note says that we already have a PO for Serve Pro that was approved for this project by the council last month. Was that our error saying Serve Pro? But if that's the case, then
Because
it's
it's
the,
Service Master in Burns Harbor, right? It should be Service Master in Burns Harbor.
so maybe that was our mistake in saying Serve Pro, but the dollar amount is different.
How much was the dollar amount last time?
$5,371.13.
That's, I think whoever did the PO probably just grabbed the wrong serve.
Jane, is that okay? I mean, if we approved it, we don't spend it, it's not a big deal. We just need to approve the new one.
Just so I'm clear which one you want approved, because the other one was already signed for approval.
Yeah, that's why I grabbed it.
So if the street department moved forward with that vendor, I mean.
No.
No, it's been Service Master the entire time.
Yeah, so the one tonight is the one that
Okay.
we'll have to approve that one. So the PO for the trees, they were already taken down. And then what, just because I don't know, what is Blockbuster Victory 10-foot SHP?
cutting edge for one of the snow plows.
Oh, okay, I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
That's all I could think of when I saw them.
And then the chipper repairs, I saw some emails going back and forth now. So is it good now? Not good now? The repairs that we're gonna pay?
I figured that would be the quickest way for us to get a chipper. It's just to repair ours.
Okay, so is it back yet or?
No, I haven't given them any.
Okay,
They
I-
just
that was
gave
my
me a quote
question.
yesterday.
When is the Chesterton auction?
I don't know. I couldn't find anything about it online. I checked the town website as well as the town's Facebook page. And I texted Dan Moy about it the other day, and he said they had a couple of people pick up the bid forms, but he didn't elaborate as to when it was or he was in a meeting.
Well, they have a cheaper, the cheaper that we.
Well, I don't, but like here.
I know, right.
Mhm.
That's why I'm like, I thought maybe there would be a date out there, like, but.
I will, probably the clerk's office is managing that, right, Jane? Would the clerk treasurer manage the auction for them, like
The
you?
previous clerk treasurer did, I don't.
I would call that
haven't
office and
communicated
find
to
out.
her.
Yeah, I mean, they manage the money, so she should know.
She'd have to be the one to
Right.
post the public notice.
And accept the bids.
So the last one I had was in September of last year, and they posted it in July. So entirely possible that they may follow the same cadence and do it in the fall. Reach out to her.
Okay. Roll call?
Councilman Biancardi,
Yes.
Councilman Bozak,
Yes.
Councilman Loving,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCart.
Purchase order, I don't know what we're on. Okay. Abstain.
Wake up, girl.
I lost track of the whole trooper situation.
Councilman Scott.
Trust service user fee.
Should look into that at all, Clay.
Yeah, I guess I thought that there was gonna be discussion amongst a couple of you to ask me to prepare one, but I
That was supposed to be Nick.
drafted something modeled largely on the town of Chesterton, so if we got
I'll see it in a second.
So are your comments that are highlighted in yellow questions then how we would?
Well, yeah, because they had in there about like an ordinance violations bureaus, if
Mhm.
someone does not comply with regards to, you know, proper use of the cans, you know,
Mhm.
non-payment, things of that nature. And then, of course, you need to figure out what you want the fees to be.
Mhm.
Because I don't think we have a contract for 23 already.
Yes, it was a 2-year contract.
So essentially, though, we would need 2 ordinances, if I saw your email correct, because this one amends chapter 5 to talk about it. Then there was a second one of Chesterton that actually had an ordinance with the fee in it by year. Is that right?
No, because the chapter 5 right now is just one page.
Right.
And so that would basically wipe all of that out and replace it with.
Oh, I see. So actually in chapter 510C, we would spell out the charges that year.
Exactly.
Okay, I got you.
So I gave you the proposed, but then also to show you what what Chesterton's most recent amendment.
So then when we get a new contract, we would amend it similar to that short one.
Exactly.
Okay.
I just wanted you to see what town of Chesterton residents
Got
are
ya.
paying per month.
Okay.
You know, $20.50 last year, $21.24 this year, and then next year, $21.98.
Mhm.
So the first, you know, presuming that we're gonna start this at the first of the year for calendar year 23, Chesterton residents will be paying, you know, a couple cents shy of $22 a month.
I briefly looked at this when we got it, but I haven't read it in detail.
And again, we, you know, need to figure out how we want to implement this, that the town of Chesterton has it tied to the sewer bill. Obviously, it doesn't make sense for residents to be getting 2 envelopes a month from the town saying, here's your bill. But I understand that there may be, you know, some logistics to work out with regards to billing.
Can we put it, oh, sorry, go
I
ahead.
think everybody needs to read it, so maybe we.
Put it on next month.
Large item trash pickup is May 12th. Scholarship applications are due May
That's
31st.
tomorrow.
Yeah, so tonight is garbage picking night.
Somebody's gonna have to come home and start unloading. Yeah, give us stuff out when my husband's at work.
Yeah, and we're already driving through our neighborhood today. We're ready to pick our hour early.
Yeah, so that's tomorrow. Scholarship applications are due May 31st. The applications are online at the town hall and at the high school guidance office. This is not just for, you know, high school seniors going off to a four-year college. This is for adults too, or trade school.
For any person that lives in the town seeking any educational opportunity for any purpose, please apply.
Yes.
I have a question about that. So do you have to be like already applied to a school to apply for the scholarship, or could you apply for the scholarship first for like, you know, some sort of schooling class that you would maybe not be able to afford to take without first knowing that you received the scholarship to pay for?
I think the board would make that the scholarship.
Well,
I've won it before, and I was in the process of that, and I was required to show the enrollment upon payment.
You have to
When I
show
got, you know,
Right.
so I didn't have to be enrolled to apply, well, I had to be enrolled.
to get the check.
So you could just work on the timing, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's all it is, I mean,
Just-
but you don't have to be.
I guess the question too, though, is, does it expire? So let's say someone applied for this year and you weren't ready to start until the, like, January, so not the fall, but in the
I think they probably
spring?
put school, I think they probably put dates on them because I
Okay.
remember this was a thing before when I sat on the board.
So if someone had to postpone
We had a
or,
high school junior line.
uh-huh,
But yeah, I think they have dates on it now, so I think it's
Okay,
like.
just
the school
curious.
year. CF fund statement reviews for 2022, the 2023 abatement.
Those are from Nick. And members to the council and to Claire last night.
Does this like require a motion to approve them or? Yeah.
We have to approve Angie to
No.
sign.
You have to approve them and approve Angie to sign them on behalf of the council. Well, you don't have to. That's the process. If you want to grant them tax abatement, you need to make that motion and you need to include that Angie would sign on behalf of the town. I believe there's seven of them.
Jane, I have some questions. Is it normal for them to kind of give this to you at the 11th hour like this? I mean, this is dated a week ago. I don't know when they actually sent them over.
They were trying to make appointments with some of the council members to discuss
They
it.
did.
They finally met with me Monday because no one else was available.
That was still kind of.
Because
They
they-
reached out to us several times asking for someone to meet with them.
Yeah, they emailed them like Tuesday or something asking about that Thursday.
Well, I mean, I just noticed that for the employees and salaries, they seem to, you know, be meeting what was estimated on the SD one, but for the costs and values, it seems to be under. I'll just point that out.
They sent a document that I included in the email that explained that when a business is sold, it is law that all the assessed value on all property owned by the previous owner is reassessed. I included that in the packet. I sent that to you.
When was that sent?
Same emails. I sent several emails. I sent them in separate emails because there are so many documents. So it would be more clear to everybody involved on what pieces went with which.
They also talked about that at the meeting with us, didn't they, Tony?
Yeah,
About how they, like, what middle wanted wasn't really what their.
right, they talked about, right, yes.
I think, Clay, I think 2015 is the one I
Yeah,
sent, and
I'm
then
seeing that now. I
16 and 17, 19. So I sent each year separately, so it would be easier for you to compare them.
So overall, they're meeting the employee and salary expectation of that? It's just not necessarily the equipment?
And salaries because they have to, this is part of their union contract, they're just not making the investments that they said they were gonna make.
But they're not conscious that they're making either. That's why,
As a,
But they're getting the benefit of the.
I know, so that's why. That's what we do.
The impression, in fact, I won't even say the impression. What was stated to me was they were meeting the requirements based on SB 1. And they felt they were meeting all requirements needed. And again, that has to do with reassessing the value of the property because they sold the products, because it sold from Barnstable Middle to Cleveland Cliffs, and that's a law that everything has to be reassessed.
I don't think that they necessarily control that.
No, they don't.
I know that our prior conversations, they are wanting those to look different going forward, because I think that there's an additional abatement that they are wanting to request. And I know that you and I spoke with them several months ago about that, but to ask me to have a meeting the week of, I can't accommodate that at this point in the year. I think that what their reports look like are probably a result of the sale. And determining how they're gonna move forward. If they're meeting the number of employees and salaries, then I'll make a motion to approve the CF ones and you to sign them.
Second.
I think it should definitely look different next year. I don't know that they could control everything that it looks like this year.
Can they come to a meeting?
I think they should have probably come to a meeting, but at this point, like Clay said, this is the 11th hour to turn these in, right, Jane?
it's gonna be.
To the county.
Yeah, it just seems like it came really fast to ask.
They
us
did
to
tell us
do
that they wouldn't be here till May. Roll call?
Councilwoman Bozak,
Yes.
Councilman Loving,
No.
Councilwoman McCarr,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bean Party,
Yes.
Councilwoman Scott.
No. Good of the order?
Eric Hall's here. That's good.
What was that?
It is good to see you, Eric.
It's good to see you guys.
Candy
I miss you guys. And
Mom.
I do have to say, I didn't leave out of here in the way that I wanted to. And I mean that it came really quick and short notice, and that was not an intent when I raised my hand and said I want to work with you guys. And for that, I apologize. I owe that to you guys in town. I didn't want to go out that way, but it's the way life happens, so. You guys got a good replacement, so you guys will be all right. It's good to see everybody here, and, I still have family in town, and so I'll still be in and out, stop in and give you our time. And like I said before, anything that I could do to help, I'm always willing to do for you guys. And, it's a great job.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion, roll call?
Councilman Loving,
Yes.
Councilwoman Carr,
Yes.
Councilwoman Biancardi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bozak,
Yes.
Councilwoman Scott.
Yes.